I'm trying to show people how amazing it is to be able to use the platform like ChatGPT to prepare for job interviews. So what I want us to go through is I want you to become my interviewer. You'll be the recruiter on the other side, and I'll be the candidate for a job interview. We're looking for a job in human resource management. And what I want you to do is to ask me a whole bunch of questions, and I'll try and answer them as best as possible. And then you can guide me as to whether I'm doing the right thing. Is that okay with you? Okay, my name is Tshidi, and I've been working in the human resources space for the last 15 years. My job started when I was actually an intern in one of the banks in South Africa. I then grew up around the ranks, ended up becoming a HR business partner, and later became an HR manager. And one of the reasons why I wanted a job like this or a job in your company is mainly because your company has shown a lot of interest in diversity and inclusion. Your company's also done a lot of focus in making sure that mental health awareness are key things that we need to also focus on. And some of the other key deliverables that I've seen from your company point of view is that you are also a company that is focusing on trying to ensure that you give people as much opportunities as humanly possible. That is why I'd like to actually work for your company.
Thank you for that detailed response, Thierry. You touched on some important aspects like your extensive experience in HR and how your values align with the company's focus on diversity, inclusion, and mental health. Here's some feedback to help fine-tune your answer. 1. Structure. While you shared great insights, try to structure your answer a bit more clearly. You can break it down into 3 parts: your professional background, your key skills or achievements, and why you're drawn to this specific role or company. This will help the interviewer follow your journey more easily. 2. Focus on skills. You mentioned your roles and experience, which is great. It might help to highlight specific HR skills or achievements that make you an ideal fit for the role, like managing HR policies, employee relations, or talent development. 3. Company research. You did well by mentioning the company's focus on growth, diversity, and mental health. It might help to include a specific initiative or program the company has run recently to show that you've done thorough research. Let's give it another try with a little more focus on structuring your answer. Would you like to rephrase it, or shall we move on to the next question?
Let's move on to the next question.
Great. Let's keep going. In human resources, dealing with conflicts between employees is a common challenge. Can you give me an example of a time you handled a difficult employee situation and walk me through how you resolved it?
Okay, about 10 years ago, I was called into a meeting with one of the hiring managers that I'd always worked with. I went into the meeting with the understanding that it's not always going to be an easier process of trying to understand who's done what and what was different, but also trying to make sure that the conversation that I had with both parties was more of a reconciliatory conversation instead of it being another conversation where I'm enhancing that fight or I'm actually getting them to fight even more.
Here's some feedback to help enhance your response. 1. Specificity. You provided a good amount of detail, but you can focus even more on specific actions you took to resolve the conflict. For example, you mentioned you had separate meetings with each party, but what questions did you ask to get to the root of the problem? What communication techniques did you use to help them feel heard and understood? 2. Outcome. Take it a step further. You can reflect on what you learned from the situation or how it shaped your approach to similar conflicts in the future. This shows growth and adaptability. Would you like to rework any part of your answer? Or are you ready for the next question?
No, I think we can actually end it here because it was supposed to just be an example of what people can do to make sure that they get themselves ready when it comes to that next job interview.
That makes perfect sense. And I think you did a great job showcasing how you can use a platform like this to prepare for interviews.
There you have it, guys. AI can actually be able to assist you in some of the things that you normally pay a lot of money for. Please use my GPT, which is called Career Nav. And Career Nav is actually there to become your guiding principle. You can ask it the same type of questions, especially if you know that you've got a job interview the next day. You can create as many scenarios as you want. You can tell it about the scenario that you are in. You can ask it for to ask you technical questions and ask it to give you feedback on how you're responding in some of those things. It is very important that before you go to any job interview, you are very prepared for that job interview. You also need to make sure that you showcase that you've actually been learning as much as you can. One of the things that I've always learned about job interviews is that you're not always going to be the best. Tools like ChatGPT can actually assist you in guiding, coaching you, and getting you ready for the job interview. So please, if you have a job interview, below here I've got the link for my GPT. All you have to do is just sign into that, ask it as many questions as possible, whatever scenarios that you might have, and it will give you as many answers as you want. And what's the best thing is it will also give you ways and scenarios that you can play around to make sure that you actually give the best answers. So I'm hoping to see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Until next time, peace.